My mom created a fun way for us to learn the most important rules of life. Yah's command.
With Yah's Big Ten Commands, we get to see His will's best for us.
Keep Yah first.
No graven images.
Don't take Yah's name in vain.
Remember Shabbat and keep it holy.
Honor your parents.
Do not kill.
Mr. and Mrs., don't cheat.
Don't steal.
Don't tell lies.
Don't covet.
This changes everything. Get your set of Yah's Big Ten Commands at Big Ten Designs today.
Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land.
Identity. We are bombarded by images of who we think we are every day of our lives. But some people don't think. They know. How about you? I didn't know my true identity, culture, heritage, or roots. As a Christian, I was told the only thing that mattered was my identity was found in Christ. But what about the Asian, Arab, Coptic, or European believer? Do they know their identity? Does it matter to them? How about you? This is who they tell us we are. This is what we know. But is it the truth? Take a journey with me as I share my story of faith and identity and discover why both life in the Savior and identity matters. Why our past, present, and future hinges on the knowledge of our true identity. Why all believers in the Messiah must wake up before it's too late. As the world gets darker, it is time for Yah's people to shine their light. Who you really are is one of the most important questions on earth. It's time you knew.
Israelite. Israelite.
Israel.
Israelite.
Israelite. How to know your identity without losing your Savior.
I believe in you. Tell me, do you believe in you? Consuming, but above the world, the wind and seas, you reach for me.
All right. Grace and peace, family. Grace and peace. How y'all doing tonight? Let me fix this screen thing. This little thing is funny. They done switched up StreamYard on me, y'all. They done switched it up. Messing me up. Okay, I'm gonna get in my flow. What's going on, family? What's going on? I know y'all like, Sister Shonda, where you been? Like, I done took an extended break, right? It's been a minute. It's been a minute, right? But I'm glad to be back with y'all. All praises to the Most High. Shabbat Shalom, fam. Shabbat Shalom to all of you. I know I've been gone for a while. Y'all already know that I experienced the loss of one of the most closest family members in my life, which was my grandfather. And we buried him last Friday. But I'm gonna just keep it 100 with y'all. I was just exhausted, with life and my emotions, and spiritually just needed a break. And sometimes you just got to do that. It's like we're in a time in this world that is unprecedented, and sometimes you got to know when to pace yourself when it's just too much. And so I took a break, and I appreciate those of you who reached out to me and checked in on me. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for doing that. I needed to get into a space where I could be human, right? Because sometimes, we can feel spiritually like we're invincible, right? At times, like, okay, you know what? I got this. I got endless strength, and we don't. We need to experience our human emotions, and I did that. And I'm grateful for the memories that I have with my grandfather. There are beautiful memories that I will take with me till I close my eyes and take my final breath. But I am glad to be back with all of you, and I want to thank you for your love and your support. Thank y'all for showing up for my video. Jehovah's Witnesses knocked on my door the wrong day. It was right before my grandfather's funeral on top of that, so it really wasn't a good time to knock on my door. But thank y'all for your comments. I read them all. I appreciate them. I love and appreciate the support. Thank you all so much also for continuing to support the work with Israelite. Man, it's so exciting to just see how this work is just moving in so many different capacities. It's moving all throughout the United States, some in the UK, and locally as well. Those of you who got a chance to see that I did a prayer for a women's international event here, and one of the senators here acknowledged my work. I'm very grateful for that. And I'm going to continue to be in the spaces that Yahuwah opens the doors for me to walk through. And that's just it. We have to be ready for wherever it is that he calls us to be. So thank you all for your love and your support and showing up for that. And we have to be there for each other. And I told y'all, last month, the last message that I did was talking about doing just that, supporting one another, right? Like supporting each other in our ingenuity and the work that we do. It's so important because we're at the time in this life where we're going to need to rely on each other that much more, right? So I want to go ahead and I want to highlight one of the businesses that just is doing the work out here, doing the work in our community. I want to give a shout out to and acknowledge Natural Niche Boutique, okay? So for the best in natural skincare products, this is where you want to go, family. Natural Niche Boutiques. Natural Niche Boutiques is a skincare company located in North Carolina. They are dedicated to providing eco-friendly, moisturizing, and effective products. They provide premium, ingredient-conscious products that retain moisture and help improve your skin. So, fam, y'all can say goodbye to all of those toxic products that you be using. I know y'all be using them toxic products, right? Okay? It's time to treat your skin right. And all the chemicals that damage your skin and your body within, you can let those go. It's time to treat your melanin with the love it truly deserves. So don't wait. Y'all go visit Natural Niche Boutique and get the best and most luxurious skincare products today. Visit their website at naturalnicheboutique.com. Their website is located in my description box, and I'm going to be highlighting their business all month long. I'm very grateful for them and their support of the Ashanda at Large platform. And for those of you who did not get the message last month, that this is how I'm reaching out and showing support to our community, is I gave 50% off of all businesses, Black businesses that wanted to receive promotion on this channel. And this month, for the month of April, I am also going to be extending that invitation to businesses who would like to receive sponsorship. So if you would like to advertise your business on Ashanda at Large for the sponsorship packages, 50% off, okay, of all sponsorship packages. Get your business the attention it deserves. Just fill out my advertising request form to receive my advertising packet. And let's partner together to scale your business, okay? So check the description box for the form, okay, for the link to that form. All right, family. So let's go ahead and let's get into tonight's discussion. We have a lot of things to discuss. I'm going to give a couple of shout outs real quick because it's just been a minute since I've seen y'all. And I just want to show my love and my appreciation. So let's go. Shalom, shalom, peace and blessings to you. Brother Timothy in the building, grace and peace as always. You got your book. Hallelujah, my brother. I am so excited. Thank you so much. Please do me a favor and leave your review on Amazon. We have 5-star review on Amazon. So continue to put those reviews on there, please, family, so we can continue to get it through the algorithms. Thank you so much, my brother. Sister Jeanette, Shabbat Shalom. Grace and peace to you. Good to see you tonight. Jason Camphor, Shalom. Peace and blessings to you. Got Terry Payne in here. Grace and peace to you. Got Damian Jones. Peace and blessings. Got Cody Cole up in the house. Peace and blessings. Lovely Dove. Peace and blessings to you as well. Got Sister Desiree. Shout out to my mods. Peace and blessings to you. Look what we got here in the building, family. Natural Niche Boutique in the house. All right. Shalom to you. Y'all check out Natural Niche Boutique. All right. Got Martha Ingram in the house. So sorry, lost your. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. All right. Got Wanda Austin. Peace and blessings to you as well. All right, family. So let's go ahead and we're going to get started. I'm going to go ahead and cut the music. I'm going to go ahead and cut it now. We're going to go ahead and have this discussion. And listen, family, this is going to be one of those discussions that I'm just letting you know off the top. I know y'all saw The Coming Wrath, and there are things that people have assumptions about when they see a title like that. But I'm going to let you know that this message is not an easy one to share, but it is a necessary one, okay? This message is to the entirety of the so-called Black community, okay? Not solely to those who know that they're true Israel or those who are born again, but to the collective of us all, okay? This is impacting all of us, We're all living in this world. We're all living in this time and this space. And we've all had the same experience, as we know, that being in the lands of our captivity. So usually when I share a message like this, you know, people don't want to hear messages like this, right? They don't. I mean, it's just facts. You know, the engagement rate goes down. But my prayer is that, especially with everything that we're seeing going on in the world right now, that we don't tune out, but we like and share as far and wide as we can. It's a sobering message in which I'm going to share a lot from the word today. Okay, I will be sharing some videos, but I'm going to be sharing a lot from the word today or tonight. So it was a couple of weeks ago during my time of devotion where I started reading in Ezekiel, like around chapter 11, and Yahuwah just started to like bring some of the words of the pages like right off of the book into my heart. And it was a very convicting word. Okay. And I mulled over for a couple of days about whether or not this was a word for me or whether or not this is a word for Israel, for all of the quote unquote Black community. And the more that I read, I couldn't get this word out of my heart. And chapter after chapter, as I was reading, it just became so much more of a necessity, especially because of the time that we're living in. And then I asked Yahuwah, like, you know, how am I supposed to deliver this type of message? And Romans 9 dropped into my spirit like a ton of bricks. And so that's going to be where we start. Romans chapter 9. Okay. I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to read the whole chapter. So those of you who have not had your fill of the word in a while, you're going to get it tonight. All right. So let's start in Romans chapter 9. It says, I say the truth in Mashiach. I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Ruach HaKodesh, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Mashiach for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Eluah and the promises, whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Mashiach came, who is over all, Eluah blessed forever, or blessed forever. Amen. Not as though the word of Eluah had taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. I'm going to repeat that. I know y'all have heard this before, but I'm going to repeat it. For they are not all Israel which are of Israel. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall your seed be called. Y'all really got to pay attention to this. But in Isaac, not because they are the seed of Abraham, are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of Eluah, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. Now remember that Abraham had Ishmael with what's her name? The Egyptian, Hagar. Okay? That was the seed of the flesh that he was referring to, according to the law, but not according to the promise. He had promised that Sarah, or Sarai at the time, that she was going to birth the seed of the promise, Isaac, which means laughter. Verse 9, for this is the word of promise. At this time I will come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Eluah according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. So they weren't even born to do any right or wrong or anything, is what he's saying. Okay, they ain't done good, they ain't done evil. But for the purpose of Alua, according to election, that they might stand. Why? Not of works, but because he called them. He called the elder to serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. He declared that before they were born. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with Alua? Alua forbid. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth or wills, nor of him that runs, but of Alua that shows mercy. For the scripture saying to Pharaoh, even for the same purpose have I raised you up, that I might show my power in you, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. Therefore has he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and on whom he will he hardeneth. I want y'all to think about that. Before I move on, I want y'all to do me a favor. We're going to be real tonight. We're going to be extra real tonight. I want y'all to do me a favor, and I want you to tell me with a 1 in the chat if any of you have family members that no matter how many times you try to tell them the truth of Yah's word, tell them about the Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach, the necessity for salvation, who they are as a bloodline descendants of true Israel, it ain't clicking. No matter how many times you tell them. Put a 1 in the chat if you have family members that reject the word. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't have no family members like that, because everybody's on fire for Yah. I'd like to see at least 1, 2. I would love to see at least 1, 2. But unfortunately, I don't. I only see 1s. And all of you out there who are living for Yahuwah, you're doing the best that you can to live for his glory, to be light in the midst of a dark generation. But yet, no matter how much light you're bearing, they ain't getting it. They're not picking up what you're putting down. I got a 1 there as well. It's just the reality. It's the reality. He said he's going to have mercy on who he's going to have mercy, and he's going to harden who he's going to harden. I told you this is a sobering message tonight, and you need to understand this message. I'm going to tell you why you need to understand this message. Because some of you are so emotionally driven about your family members, your lost child, your lost auntie, your lost cousin them, your lost grandparents. You're so emotionally tied and invested in them understanding the truth, as we all are. I wrote my book, reaching out to our family, our friends, those who are in the Christian church, because it is our job to do everything that we can to bring in the harvest, right? The harvest is plentiful, the workers are few. But some of you all do not know how to detach, okay? You do not know how to detach. Hallelujah, Martha Ingram. They don't keep the Shabbat. Okay, well, they're working on it. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. Somebody's saying they're having a problem hearing me. If you can't, then I'll see what's going on. You might have to refresh. This person might have to refresh. But again, some of you cannot make a distinction in your heart. Okay? Okay, great. Y'all can hear me. You can't allow for Yahuwah's sovereignty. I remember years ago when the first person in my life to pass away that was very close to me. I remember that I was so hurt because of her passing. And I wanted so bad to be at her funeral because she had passed away and we had been friends since children. She had gone on to become a Jehovah's Witness. Now y'all understand why I feel the way I do about Jehovah's Witnesses. But we were like sisters. We were best friends and we were like sisters. And she had become a part of Kingdom Hall and it cut me off, I think, 1 year or 2 years before, when I sat down and I tried to show her some things from the Word. And then I got the report that she had passed away. And I remember thinking, I really want to go to her funeral. I need to be here. And I promise you, I heard the verse in my head that said, let the dead bury their dead. Yes, as Dowdy, this is a message tonight that we all need to hear. He said, let the dead bury their dead. I remember distinctly hearing that. So I called my mom, who was going to be making arrangements to get me a flight. And I said, Mom, never mind. Never mind. Because some of you all have family members that are meeting their eternity and they're not meeting it on the good side. They're not meeting it on the right side. And you're hurt and you're wounded about it. But you need to understand and learn to trust in Yahuwah's sovereignty. And that's a lesson that I had to learn then. His sovereign will. He will have mercy on whom he will have mercy. And he will have compassion on whom he will have compassion. But he will also harden who he will harden. Verse 19, you will say then unto me, why do you yet find fault? Why does he yet find fault? For who have resisted his will? Nay, but, oh man, who are you that replies against Eluah? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why have you made us thus? Have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? What if Eluah, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction? Come on now. Do y'all hear what he's saying? He said, what if with much long suffering? With much. Because his word does say he does not desire that any should perish, but all should come to the knowledge of truth. He endured, but because he understands time in a way that we do not understand time. You see time and you perceive it past, present, future. He doesn't perceive time in the way that you perceive time. You see, when Yahuwah looks, it's all laid out before him. Every decision that you possibly could make. You could make a left, he knows where that's going to lead. You could make a right, he knows where that's going to lead. You could go backwards, he knows where it's going to lead. You can go forward, he knows where it's going to lead. He knows any type of variable that you may consider in your life, it's all laid out before him, like real time. And this is what we need to understand. He already knows what the decision they were going to make. He already knew. You think it made him feel good to know that he would be rejected by his own? I came unto my own, but my own received me not. How many of you all like rejection? I don't like rejection. I can't stand when I'm rejected, but guess what? It's a part of life. And sometimes what they say, their rejection is Yah's protection. Come on now. And so the Most High allows people to make their free will decisions, but because he's sovereign and because he's omniscient, he already knew what they were going to do. Vessels of dishonor. And that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto glory. Did you know that before the foundation of the earth was laid that he knew you? Before the foundation of the earth was laid, he knew you. He plucked you out. If you read my book, I talk about my story growing up. Before I knew him, he knew me. He knew you. He knew exactly the decisions that you were going to make in life. He knew that you would be the unlikely. Hello. He knew that I would be the unlikely. I was not destined according to my will to be a vessel of Yahuwah, a vessel of Yahusha, a daughter of the Most High, born again. I was not according to what I thought life was going to look like. The way I was headed in the direction that I thought was best to go, I did not realize that he already knew me before the foundation of the earth was laid. He already knew what I was built with. He already knew And he knows everything about you too. But here's the thing. Even us whom he had called, not of Yahudim only, but also of the Gentiles. As he says in OC, I will call them my people, which are not my people. And her beloved, which was not beloved. Come on. I know some people going to argue and say, well, he's talking about the northern kingdom of Israel. He ain't talking about the other nations. You can argue with the Most High on that. I'm not arguing with you. Verse 26. And it shall come to pass in the place where it is said unto them, you are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living Eluah. And the reason why that argument doesn't make any sense to me is because the northern kingdom, like the southern kingdom, were called his people. They're all called his people. 2 Chronicles 7:14, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, I will hear from heaven, I'll forgive their sins, I will heal their land. You think he was only talking to Judah? No, he was talking to the northern kingdom as well. So it doesn't make any sense. So for those of you who would like to argue that he wasn't talking about the other nations, like I said, you take it up with him. But you got to make it make sense. You got to make it all make sense. If it ain't all making sense, it ain't going to make sense. It ain't going to make no dollars if it don't make no sense. Verse 27, Isaiah also cried concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved. I want y'all to think on that. I really need us to stop looking at things through rose-colored glasses when it comes to our people, especially tonight, please. Please stop looking at things through rose-colored glasses because you love all day long pointing out about the heathen and their wicked ways. The heathen are doing what they do. They can't do anything but what they do because that's how they built. But you want to have on rose-colored glasses when it comes to your community. And I know that you love your people more now that you know that you're true Israel. But let's just keep it a buck. Only a remnant shall be saved. Our people are wilding out. Our people love Babylon. Our people love the things of this world more than the things of the Most High. You know it's true. I know it's true. Y'all knows it's true. Verse 28, for he will finish the work and cut it short in righteousness, because a short work with Yahuwah maketh upon the earth. And as Isaiah said before, except Yahuwah of Sabaoth had left us a seed, we had been as Sodom. We may be made like Gomorrah. Do y'all hear? Y'all know what he did to Sodom and Gomorrah. But unless he left us a seed, we was going to be like Sodom and Gomorrah. That's how wicked our nation is. Look at things with sobriety, family. You're not going to be an effective vessel of Yahusha as long as you're looking at things with rose-colored glasses. Because we're in dire conditions. What shall we say then? That the Gentiles which followed not after righteousness have attained to righteousness, even the righteousness which is of faith? But Israel, which followed after the law of righteousness, had not attained to the law of righteousness. Wherefore? Because they sought it not by faith. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. Because they sought it not by faith. Who is he talking about? Israelites. Not seeking righteousness by faith, but as it were by the works of the law. I'm only reading what's written. For they stumbled at that stumbling block, or that stumbling stone. As it is written, behold, I lay in Zion a stumbling stone and a rock of offense, and whosoever believeth on him. Who? Believeth on him. Whosoever believeth on him, the stumbling stone and rock of offense, shall not be ashamed. You see, we need to understand this because we got many teachers among Israel, many people among Israel. They want to get past that stumbling stone, that rock of offense. They want to get past Yahushua HaMashiach. They want to minimize him to their own detriment, like they can stand on their own righteousness. Like we could really, any of us can stand on our own righteousness. When he says in his word, our righteousness is like filthy rags. Our righteousness is like filthy rags, y'all. Even the best of us, our righteousness is like filthy rags. He said, fall on the rock, lest the rock fall on you. You can't get to the Father without the Son, otherwise you are a thief. That's what he's saying. That's a stumbling block. But so many people want to try anyway. And they think that because they can repeat the word, that means they can live the word. Listen, sir, ma'am, sir. Jeremiah 31:31 says that there will be a new covenant. That covenant will not be written on tablets of stone, but it shall be written on your heart. And the only way that you are going to get access to it being written on your heart is if you are born again. And the only way you can be born again is if you put your faith and trust in Yahushua HaMashiach, the one who died for our sins, our transgressions, our faults, our failures, and the one who is Torah in the flesh. I know this is hard. I might have to do this in 2 parts. If this message is blessing you tonight with some real sobriety, if you will, do me a favor and get those thumbs up. You can comment the thumbs up if you want to, but definitely get those thumbs up. Y'all know YouTube. Y'all know they be hating on me and the algorithm. So let's continue. Ezekiel chapter 9. So let's read from here. And Yahuwah said unto him, go through the midst of the city, talking of Ezekiel, giving him instructions. Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Set a mark where? On the forehead of the men. They cry, they weep over the abominations done in the midst, in the middle of them. In the middle. Do you weep? Do you weep? Inwardly. I'm not saying you got to be walking around boohoo crying every day, but I'm just saying inwardly. Does it bother you when you look at your people, the state of our community? Does it bother you when you look at the Black community as a whole? Does it? Does it bother you when you hear about one of the brothers deleting a sister? Does that bother you? Or deleting a child, a mother, going to Planned Parenthood? Does that bother you? Does it bother you when they're twerking? Or are you taking pride in that? Are you taking pleasure in that? Does it bother you? Or are you enjoying it? This is how he's judging. Does it pain you to see your people in such transgression? Doing such wrong? Defending Babylon? Verse 5, and to others he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite, let not your eye spare, neither have you pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. I know that hurts to hear that. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. And he said unto them, defile the house and fill the courts with the slain. Go you forth. And they went forth and slew in the city. And it came to pass while they were slaying them, and I was left, that I fell upon my face and cried and said, Ah, Yahuwah Alua, wilt thou destroy all the residue of Israel, and your part pouring out of your fury upon Jerusalem? And he said unto me, the iniquity of the house of Israel and Judah is exceeding great, and the land is full of blood, and the city full of perverseness. For they say, Yahuwah hath forsaken the earth, Yahuwah sees not. And as for me also, mine eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense their way upon their head. And behold, the man clothed with linen, which had the inkhorn by his side, reported the matter, saying, I have done as you have commanded me. Once again, as he said, only a remnant. Hezekiah, shout out to Hezekiah, has a song where he says, only a remnant. And that's exactly what we need to understand, because he makes distinction. He makes distinction between us who are born again, who are living right. I'm not saying, you say you're born again. You can say whatever you want to say. He said, you shall know them by their fruit. What fruit? What fruit are you talking about? Galatians chapter 5, verse 22, 23. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, meekness, self-control. Against such there is no law, because if you're operating in those things and you're fulfilling the commandments to love Yahuwah with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and your neighbor as yourself, that's the fruit. Some of y'all are so saved and sanctified, and yet you are the most unforgiving people in the entire world. You have such unforgiveness in your heart. You justify your unforgiveness. I mean, it's all among. Let's just centralize for a moment this conversation. It's among our people. We woke, right? We woke up. We know who we are. We're in this awakening. We singing unto Yahuwah. We stopped saying God. We stopped saying Jesus. But now we say Yahuwah and Yahusha and curse our brother and curse our sister in our hearts. No forgiveness. And then we go right on and we go into our next meeting on Zoom or somebody else's channel, and we stir up problems between this person and that person because, we like TNT. We love drama. I'm just saying, family. I'm not with all of that. Coming to find out that I'm true Israel did not change me being born again. I have a responsibility to this word to get my heart right, because most of our problem is heart related. We need a heart transplant. We need a heart transplant because of the evil of our hearts. We're plotting evil on one another, gossiping, slander. I'm going to tell y'all a little story. It was a lady by the name, and I was thinking about her today. Nefertiti. Now, those of you who are in the community, been around since the Urban Apologist days, you might remember Nefertiti. Put a 1 in the chat if you remember Nefertiti. Put a 2 if you don't. But Nefertiti was a 7-day Adventist, and she was an urban apologist. And when she was doing her urban apology, fighting about who doctrinally or ethnically who was true Israel, it was a lot of back and forth, okay? Some of y'all remember, okay? Y'all remember? Okay. All right. Some of y'all don't. Those of you who remember, okay. So there was a lot of back and forth, right? And it was always like this, who's right, bunch of black folk trying to argue about whether we Hamites or Shemites, basically. And UA kicked her out when they found out she was Seventh-day Adventist. They kicked her out. They said, no, we thought you were, Protestant. And so you're not Protestant. We believe Seventh-day Adventist is a false religion. So therefore, you're out. And True Israel kind of extended a little bit of a hand to her, like, hey, listen, it's, we cool. I remember Dante Fortson. He was like, offering out a hand, all of that. But then, fam, we got word a few years later that she had some type of situation in her brain. I can't remember if it was cancer, some type of tumor in her brain. And I remember there was this brother who had reached out to me and tried to see if I could connect with her to tell her the truth of who we were before she passed away. And I tried my best and I wasn't able to. But let me tell you something I observed in that moment. I observed that no amount of fighting that we did mattered. None of it. This woman's life was on the line. All of the fighting and the backbiting and the, holding 15-hour lives. I think Cherry Love was doing that at the time. None of that mattered. You know what mattered? What mattered was there was a woman who was a wife and a mother who was getting ready to leave this plane. When I tell you that we need a heart transplant, we need it bad because we have so many times focused on the wrong things. And it gets us into trouble every single time because I'm trying to prove I'm right. You're trying to prove that you're right. And guess what? We're all getting it wrong because if you do not have the right heart before Yahuwah, none of what you think you know matters. The more that you know, the more that you learn, the more that should humble you. The more you should know that you don't know as much as you think you know. That should humble you. It shouldn't make you proud and prideful to walk around boasting about how many scriptures you could tell, how well you think you keep Shabbat compared to somebody else, how well you think you keep Passover compared to somebody else, how well you think you keep the feast days and the new moons and all of that stuff. That's exactly what your ancestors did. And what did that get them? Please, somebody tell me. What did that get them? Are you living in righteousness? Are you trying to be conformed after the pattern of this world with all its laws and its regulations and pride? Or are you trying to live after the heart of Yahuwah, conformed to him, transformed by the renewing of your mind? Your mind, will, and emotions make up your soul. Have you lost your soul? But you got a bunch of head knowledge. How much heart reality are you living? How much of the scripture that you think you know are you living? Let's continue. I don't know if I'm going to get through this tonight, y'all. You shall fall by the sword. I will judge you in the border of Israel, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah. This city shall not be your cauldron, neither shall be the flesh in the midst thereof, but I will judge you in the border of Israel. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah, for you have not walked in my statutes, neither executed my judgments, but have done after the manners of the heathen that are round about you. Not doing nothing different. That's what he's saying. You're not keeping my statutes. All of his statutes are built on two basic laws. Love him, love your neighbor as yourself. That's what it boils down to. And it came to pass when I prophesied that Pelatiah, the son of Benaiah, died, and then fell I down on my face and cried with a loud voice and said, Yahuwah, Eluah, will thou make a full end, there he goes again, of the remnant of Israel? Again, the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, Son of man, your brethren, even your brethren, the men of your kindred, and all the house of Israel holy, are they unto whom the inhabitants of Jerusalem have said, Get you far from Yahuwah? Unto us is this land given in possession. Therefore say, Thus saith Yahuwah Eluah, although I have cast them far off among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries, Yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall pass. Who he's talking about? He's talking about you, the remnant. He's saying, even though I've scattered you, remnant, answering his question, I'm going to be a little sanctuary in the countries where you're going to go. I'm going to keep you. That's what he said. I'm going to keep you. Wherever I put you, I'm going to keep you. Therefore say, thus said Yahuwah, I will even gather you from the people and assemble you out of the countries where you have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Israel. This is the second Exodus, the regathering. This is what it is. And they shall come thither, and they shall take away all the detestable things thereof, and all the abominations thereof from thence, and I will give them one heart, and I will put a new spirit within you. And I will take the stony heart. What was I just talking about, y'all? I will take the stony heart out of your flesh, out of their flesh, and will give them a heart of flesh, that they may walk in my statutes and keep my ordinances and do them, and they shall be my people, and I will be their Eluah. Why does he have to give us a new heart? Because he doesn't want us to obey him out of obligation. Oh, I gotta tap the time clock. I gotta punch it in. I got to mark this off of my to-do list. That's not what he's wanting from you or me. He wants us to want to do what he wants us to do. He wants us inwardly to desire the things that he desires and to love the things that he loves. You can't do that if you're not born again. You just can't. I'm sorry. It just doesn't work that way. No amount of your efforts will ever be able to get your heart right, because if your heart is made of stone, rather than giving a heart of flesh, because you're born again, it doesn't matter what you do. You won't do it from a sincere and a pure heart. He's not looking for sacrifices. He's looking for clean hands and a pure heart that are not defiled. But as for them whose heart walks after the heart of their detestable things and their abominations, I will recompense their way upon their own heads, saith Yahuwah Eluah. Then did the cherubims lift up their wings, and the wheels beside them, and the glory of the Eluah of Israel was over them above, and the glory of Yahuwah went from the midst of the city and stood upon the mountain, which is on the east side of the city. Afterward, the Spirit took me up and brought me to vision by the Spirit of Eluah into Chaldea. What is Chaldea? Chaldea is Babylon. What is Babylon? Confusion. To them of the captivity. So that the vision that I had seen went up from me. Then I spake unto them of what? Of the captivity. All the things Yahuwah has showed me. He's speaking unto us. He's speaking to us. You are blessed if you were in this house tonight. You know why you're blessed? Because you desire for him to speak to you. You desire for him to tell you what he wants. And that is an indication that you belong to him. You think people that don't belong to him want to hear these messages? Oh, they're talking about the Bible. I don't hear nothing about the Bible. Oh boy. Market crash today. I don't want to hear nothing about the Bible. Another earthquake killed hundreds of people. Nah, don't tell me nothing about the Bible. Trump's gone insane. They shouldn't have voted him in. Don't tell me nothing about the Bible. And that's the way people are. Because as far as they're concerned, the answer that is so simple is so complex. Why? Because they do not know him. Because they are not redeemed. They are not vessels of honor. They are vessels of dishonor. Not all Israel is Israel. I told y'all, you're going to get a healthy dose of word tonight. Healthy dose of word tonight. Ezekiel 13. This is what the sovereign Yahuwah says. Woe to the foolish prophets. Oh, he got smoke for everybody. He got smoke for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, ain't not one person going to be left up out of this. It's coming from every single person this smoke is coming for. Woe to the foolish prophets who follow their own spirit and have seen nothing. Your prophets, Israel, like jackals among ruins. You have not gone up to the breaches of the wall to repair it for the people of Israel. so they will stand firm in the battle on the day of Yahuwah. Their visions are false and their divinations a lie. Even though Yahuwah has not sent them, they say, Yahuwah declares. No, they say, the Lord declares. That's how they say it. The Lord declares. And expect him to fulfill their words. Have you not seen false visions and utter lying divinations when you say, the Lord declares, though I have not spoken? Therefore, this is what the sovereign Yahuwah says. Because of your false words and lying visions, I'm against you, declares the sovereign Yahuwah. My hand will be against the prophets who see false visions and utter lying divinations. They will not belong to the council of my people or be listed in the records of Israel, nor will they enter the land of Israel. Then you will know that I am the sovereign Yahuwah. Because they lead my people astray, saying peace when there is no peace. And because when a flimsy wall is built, they cover it with whitewash. Therefore, tell those who cover it with whitewash that it's going to fall. Rain will come in torrents, and I will send hailstones hurtling down, and violent winds will burst forth. When the wall collapses, people will not ask you, where's the whitewash you covered it with? Therefore, this is what the sovereign Yahuwah says. In my wrath, I will unleash a violent wind, and in my anger, hailstones and torrents of rain will fall with destructive fury. I will tear down the wall you have covered with whitewash and will level it to the ground so that its foundations will be laid bare. When it falls, you will be destroyed in it, and you will know that I am Yahuwah. So I will pour out my wrath against the wall and against those who covered it with whitewash. I will say to you, the wall is gone, and so are those who whitewashed it. Those prophets of Israel who prophesied to Jerusalem and saw visions of peace for her when there was no peace, declares the sovereign Yahuwah. Roger said that's a lot right now. That's a lot right now. I'd say one of the most recent ones happened not too long ago. Y'all might have seen it. I'm pretty sure y'all did. But I'm going to share it again anyway.
Close the doors for me for a quick moment. I want everybody to remain standing quickly. How many of y'all really received something from the word of the Lord tonight? Listen, when you study scripture, you will notice that whenever God did something in the lives of the patriarchs of old, the patriarchs would pause, they would set up an altar, and they would offer up sacrifice. I asked each and every one of you how many of y'all received something from the word of the Lord. Everyone in this place said these words, I did. Because of your acknowledgement of what God did in word, there is an obligation that is attached to that acknowledgement. In biblical days, they offered livestock, grain. That was a type of currency. Note, if you will, I did not say money. I said currency. And this is what God is saying for at least 1,000 of you in the building. And this is simple. I'm not going to challenge you the way Bishop did. But I know that there's 1,000 individuals under the sound of my voice that can do what I'm about to challenge you all to do. This is simple. 1,000 people giving what I'm about to challenge will be $20,000. 1,000 people giving what I'm about to challenge you all to do will be $20,000. Now, for those of us who are on the dais, I'm taking you higher, so put it back. I'm a strong believer that leaders lead not only in time, not only in talent, but also in treasure. Leaders lead in time, talent, and treasure. I was taught a long time ago that it costs to sit up here. There's 1,000 of you. I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, If I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. Even if you're giving tangibly, just put your hand on take your phone and stick it on the bucket. Shh. Giving is worship. Giving is worship. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints. This is an easy miracle. We should be able to raise $40,000 tonight just from y'all giving. I'm about to go get in my truck. I'm going to my hotel. I got me some fruit. I'm doing fruit now. Fruit and water. I'm trying to look at us. Yeah. Now after you come up here, you can open the doors. Y'all walk out the door after you come up here. But make sure you come this way before you go out the door. That's it. Look at God. Look at what God has done. Hallelujah.
Well, I tell you, the memes on this was live. They were lit. Folk was like, never would have paid it. Never should have paid it. Fam. I mean, do you know the price of eggs? This is what this dude did. Locked the doors of the church for $20 from 1,000 people. And a lot of them paid it. Thus saith the Lord. Isn't that what it just said? When they say this. The Lord told him to hold 1,000 people hostage with the door shut for $20 so he can go to his hotel and eat some fruit and water. And you know, when all of this stuff came out, I didn't even know what I know now about Marvin Sapp. And it kind of like, it made me sad. But I tell you, you know, when you mess around, folk gonna find out when you mess around.
Florence. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dove, Stellar, and Grammar awardee, the international gospel recording artist and a member of Kappa Alpha Psi, Marvin Sapp.
Okay? I didn't even know that about him. I didn't know that about him. But you see, this is the problem we have here. The problem we have here is that we have so-called prophets and pastors and leaders that are supposed to be serving Yah, but at the same time, they're serving Greek gods and Greek letter organizations. Listen, I know we know people, family, friends that are involved in that, but if they don't know where you stand on that, that's a problem, family. That's a problem. If they don't know where you stand, if your witness is not witnessing against what they're doing, and I'm not saying you got to beat them over the head, but I am saying that you can't serve two masters. You're either going to love one or hate the other. And I get it. It's not an easy conversation to have. Trust me, I know. I've had to have it. I've had to have that conversation, and it's not an easy one to have. But you have to make the determination about who it is that you're going to serve. You're going to have to listen. A line has to be drawn in the sand. I'm not saying that you're going to be able to, to live like a monk and bury your head in the sand and just shut your door and not let anyone in and not let life happen. But the reality is that the people that are in your sphere of influence should know where you stand. Talked to my dear sis not too long ago, Yapa Q. Shout out to Yapa Q. I was having a conversation with her about this very subject. For those of y'all who don't know, she is a former member of a sorority. We were discussing this about how I should approach it. And she told me what happened about a young man recently. And I don't know if y'all heard about this, but this is how this stuff goes. And y'all need to understand. These are the sins among Israel. These are the sins of the Black community, y'all.
Student, an engineering student who died. Authorities say they were first told he was hit in the chest while playing basketball. But tonight, investigators say it was not basketball, it was hazing, and that he was repeatedly punched in the chest. Here's Whit Johnson.
Tonight, a recent college graduate under arrest in connection with a horrific alleged hazing death in Louisiana. 23-year-old Caleb McCrae facing manslaughter and criminal hazing charges as authorities search for at least 2 more suspects. Last month, 20-year-old Southern University junior Caleb Wilson was unresponsive when a group of men dropped him off at a Baton Rouge emergency room. Court documents state the men allegedly told hospital staff that Wilson collapsed after being struck in the chest while playing basketball. But tonight, investigators say that was a lie.
Caleb Wilson died as a direct result of a hazing incident where he was punched in the chest multiple times while pledging to Omega Psi Phi fraternity.
Wilson was an engineering student, an avid member of the school's band called Human Jukebox. His grieving father, Corey, remembering his son's love for that band at a recent vigil.
Thank you all, the Human Jukebox. This is Caleb's life. He really loves the jukebox.
And David, we've just learned the suspect, Caleb McCrae, is a member of the Army National Guard. His attorney says he maintains his client's innocence. David.
Whit Johnson back with us tonight. Whit, thank you.
Family, what part of that is love? What part of that is love? These dudes beat him to deletion and then dropped him off at the emergency room and lied. What part of that is love? Because they say brotherhood, sisterhood, but is that really a brotherhood and really a sisterhood? Is that real love? Is that real love? I want to share another young lady's experience. She got out, but this is some of the stuff that she had to go through.
A part of the, Delta sorority, and she's going to detail the humiliation rituals.
They would kidnap you. Like on top of that, like not even the Deltas, but like if the Qs, which was the brother for fraternity of us, caught us, they could kidnap us. And then they would have to call your license. They would have to come get you. Like they could do whatever, to you. Like, you would have to get in the cut, which like take licks. Everything. They smile wipe you. They do this thing where they make you sit in Delta chair, which is basically like squats. They sit on you. They spit on you. They hit.
They spit on you.
Hair. Yeah, yeah. Like for real. They do all that. Some of the stuff that we had to do at set. The most demeaning, disgusting stuff that you could ever imagine. We would do this thing called Delta Apple, where we would literally all take and bite out of the onion and like pass it to each other. We would eat dog food. We would eat what else? How else they would like if one of the girls on the line had like the prettiest hair, they would ruin it. You know what I mean? I'm talking about like ruin it. You know what I mean? Now what else? Pushing, shoving, smacking, hitting. You know what I mean? You would have to take wood. Wood is where they got the big paddles. You would have to get in the position and they would just tag you in, tag you out, that kind of environment.
Now, y'all know
Phil has some interesting things to say, and I agree with a lot of his perspective. But I'm trying to understand what part of that is love. I'm really failing to understand what part of that is love. This is what Yahuwah meant when he talked about you doing the things that the heathen do. I don't understand. And there are people in my life, just like there are people in y'all's, that are involved in fraternities and sororities. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love them. I care about them, but they know where I stand. And the thing is that you can't make another person's decisions for them. You cannot do that, but you can live your life as a light of the Most High before them. And hopefully they will be drawn to your light and ask you questions. Because the thing is that our people have to get up out of these mindsets. But we know the word makes it clear that most of them won't. This is why I said this message is for all of us, and we need to understand it. It's a very important message. Because your heart needs to be prepared to lose the ones that you love. It just needs to be prepared. And I know it hurts. But you got to choose this day whom you will serve. We all do. We all have to make that choice for ourselves, family. Oh, you got smoke for the daughters too. I'm not going to be one of those people that's one-sided. No, I'm going to say what his words say. Verse 17, now, son of man, set your face against the daughters of your people who prophesy out of their own imagination. Prophesy against them and say, this is what the sovereign Yahuwah says. Woe to the women who sew magic charms in all their wrists and make veils of various lengths on their heads in order to ensnare people. Will you ensnare the lives of my people but preserve your own? You'll profane me among my people for a few handfuls of barley and the scraps of bread. By lying to my people who listen to lies, you have killed those who should have not been deleted, and have spared those who should have not lived. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Yahuwah says. I'm against your magic charms with which you ensnare people like birds, and I will tear them from your arms. I will set free from the people that you ensnare like birds. I will tear off your veils and save my people from your hands, and they will no longer fall prey to your power. Then you will know that I am Yahuwah, because you dishearten the righteous with your lies when I have brought them no grief, and because you encourage the wicked not to turn from their evil ways and so save their lives. Therefore, you will no longer see false visions or practice divination. I will save my people from your hands, and you will know that I am Yahuwah. Yeah, the women got a problem with that too. They do. A lot of false prophetesses. Rampant. Some people going to check out. Some people going to get offended. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
This is the first person that God ever spoke to me and said, rebuke this person. She is the only person who has a video that is dedicated to her on this channel. This person steals the words of true prophets. She takes prophetic words from multiple sources. She has definitely stolen many of the prophecies that the Lord has given me. She uses the Master's Voice blog like a magazine. She has even taken prophecies that the Lord has not yet given me to speak forth and put them in her video. And she has even taken prophecies that the Lord has not yet given me to speak forth. And then you say, I'm copying prophecy. From who? And then you say, I'm copying prophecy. From who? From who? From who?
Family, listen, I'm going to put it like this. Test the spirit by the spirit. Test the spirit by the spirit, because many false prophets and false prophetesses shall rise up in the last days and claim, thus saith Yahuwah. He told me this. He told me that. That's why we got to be careful. We all, especially those of us who have been called to actually be a vessel of his, to proclaim his word. That is not how do I put it? You better walk circumspectly. But social media has allowed people to have access and microphones to be able to say whatever they want to say. They're not the only two. There's trillions. I don't want to say trillions. That's a little exaggerated. But there's a lot of people out here. They're saying, thus saith, male and female. And that doesn't mean that Yahuwah doesn't have true prophets. He does. But he said one of the signs of the end times is that there will be a rise in false prophets and false prophetesses. Because if you're trying to draw people to yourself, that's one of the biggest indicators that you're not doing this with the right heart, that you're not doing this for his glory, but for yours. And let me tell you something. Being a quote unquote influencer, content creator, you can get gassed up in the head and think you're somebody. And don't let somebody meet you. Listen, it takes a level of humility. I really believe that it takes going through a serious test and fire. You need to be humbled so you can be humble. I mean, because I don't know why anybody would sign up for this. I mean, I honestly don't know. Trust me when I tell you, I'm the most unlikely as they come. I really am. And the people that I know that are actually called to this assignment and this work, they feel the same exact way. They're not sitting there going, oh my goodness, I can't wait to jump on and teach or to preach or to quote unquote prophesy. That's a scary obligation to have to fulfill, because your words and your life have to line up. And too many people, they don't. So let's move on to Ezekiel 14. I'm getting through this, y'all. Y'all pray for me. Ezekiel 14. Let me see if I pulled it up here. See, the thing about where we're going in this time period that we're at, family, is that can't none of us save ourselves. Okay? Can't save ourselves. And that's what Yahuwah tells us. He said, no, you ain't going to be able to save yourself. You ain't going to be able to save anybody else. I'm going to be the one that saves. I'm going to be the one that saves. Let's read about it. Verse 12. The word of Yahuwah came to me, son of man, if a country sins against me by being unfaithful, and I stretch out my hand against it to cut off its food supply and send famine upon it and delete its people and their animals, even if these three men, listen to y'all, what I just said, even if these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they could not save, they could only save themselves by their righteousness, declares the sovereign Yahuwah. Or if I send wild beasts through that country and they leave it childless and it becomes desolate so that no one can pass through it because of the beast, as surely as I live, declares the sovereign Yahuwah, even if these three men were in it, they could not save their own sons or daughters. They alone would be saved, but the land would be desolate. Or if I bring a sword against that country and say, let the sword pass throughout the land, and I delete its people and their animals, as surely as I live, declares the sovereign Yahuwah, even if these three men were in it, they could not save their own sons or daughters. They alone would be saved. Or if I send a plague into that land and pour out my wrath on it through bloodshed deleting its people and their animals, as surely as I live, declares the sovereign Yahuwah, even if Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, they could save neither son nor daughter. They would save only themselves by their righteousness. Man, when I read that, put a 1 in the chat if you got sons and daughters. Put a 1 in the chat if you got children. Put a 1 in the chat if you have children. I told y'all this message tonight is a very difficult one to share. I told you that. I warned you. It's hard. It's a hard word. It's a hard, difficult word. It's a very difficult word. Look at all of us parents in here. Look at all of us parents in here. We love our babies. Oh, we love our babies. They say you can't even save them. Only by your righteousness will you be saved. The righteousness of what? The righteousness by faith, he said in Romans 9. The stumbling stone. If your children do not serve the Messiah, they cannot. They can't. You can't put them on your back. They got to stand on their own 2 feet. And that's a hard pill to swallow because we want to protect them. But the Most High don't have grandchildren. So while you have the opportunity to pour into them, because, you know, when our children get to a certain age, they make their own decisions. Y'all think I'm different? I got a young adult son and 3 teenagers and smaller children. And they make decisions, especially the young adult one, that I wouldn't make. Now, at his age, I would have made them, and worse. But praise y'all for grace. And I'm praying for that same grace to turn his life in the right direction. Oh, I'm not going to get up here and act like, oh, y'all, my children just be like day and night, be in prayer and reading the word. My children are children. They fuss, they fight, they get on each other's nerves, they say things they ain't supposed to say, they do things they ain't supposed to do. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction drives it out. How many of y'all know that rod of correction hurts us when we get a little bit older? We like, you know, our parents be like, this gonna hurt me more than to hurt you. Yes. I just start saying, you know what? Forget about it. You gonna hold books. I don't have to feel that. That's a great punishment, by the way. Make them hold encyclopedias for 30 minutes. Preserve your strength, parents. Preserve it. But while you have the opportunity, while you have it, raise them up as best as you can to serve y'all. Own up to your faults, please. You want your children to serve y'all, but yet you walking in your pride and acting like you ain't never done nothing wrong to them, like you never punished one of them on accident when you were supposed to punish their sibling. They remember that stuff. Sometimes you weren't a good parent. Sometimes you did not do the best that you could. Sometimes you screwed up. Own up to it. If you want the hardness of their heart removed, for those of you who are dealing with hardened children, humble yourself. I tell my children, I be like, you know, First half ain't go so well. No, we didn't do a very good job at all. Praise be unto the Most High. Y'all turned out all right. I was selfish. I was focused on my own thing, my personal ambition. I didn't know how to be a mom. I thought if I clothed you, fed you, and housed you, that was enough. I didn't know how to meet your emotional needs. I didn't know what love looked like. This is the conversations I have. You want their heart, you better start being real. Y'all say, oh, Sister Ashanda, you such a good mother. You don't you 1 second think I'm a good mother. You better ask them if they think I'm a good mother. Because their spirits get wounded just like ours. And the problem among our people, especially because we have been beaten down psychologically, physically, our ancestors passed that through our DNA because of chattel slavery and before then. And so we oftentimes operate in a spirit of lovelessness. And it takes the Most High to break that off of us so that we can actually learn to really love. My children were so far from my mindset when I was younger and prioritizing what they needed. Now, that's the number, that's up there, before, right underneath doing the will of Yahuwah. What's his will? Take care of my family. They're going to see me before y'all do. Take care of my babies. Take care of my husband. They're going to see me before y'all do. Because he had to get that heart of stone out of me and give me a heart of flesh. So if you desire, if you have hope for their salvation, humble yourself. Cynthia said, I've been going through her mail down her street and on my front porch and hang around my back door. Hallelujah. Because see, one thing y'all ain't never going to have to worry about over here is faking. Y'all know I don't fake the funk. You've been on this channel long enough. You know I keep it 100. It is what it is. You want to be better, you better admit that you're bitter. Hey, I'm going to put that on the t-shirt. If you want to be better, you better first admit that you're bitter. You can't get better until you recognize your problem. What is your problem? You got one. You got a chip on your shoulder, and it's creating a problem in your home. You better get it right. You better get right before you get left. Because he's coming back for a purified bride. Without spot or wrinkle. What's that spot and the wrinkle? It's that bitterness in your heart. It's that selfish ambition and the pride that blinds you. So that you don't know why it is that your son is smoking that yakety yak. Your daughter is chugging them back. Is because of the things that you won't deal with. They're coping. I'm just saying. We're going to keep it a buck today. We're almost done. So now we're going to move on to the collective of us. Because as a community, we are living in unprecedented times. But we're not living in times that we're not familiar with, what our ancestors dealt with. They threatening us with a good time talking about segregation. But there's bigger things that are on the horizon. And we need to understand that what Yahuwah is doing is he's breaking down all the idols among us so that he can expose to the whole lot of us who we really serve. He has to break things down for you to understand who you really serve. If you want to know who you really serve, go through something. That's all I'm gonna say. Because some of y'all ain't been through nothing, but yet you promise yourselves that you love Yah. But we all gonna go through something. So now I'm gonna share a video with y'all that deals with the collective of what's happening in real time. And this video was done 8 years ago when Trump was in office the first go round. Okay? Because I want y'all to understand how this system has deceived us. I know that we understand that to a degree, but I need us to understand that this system is the idol that's being broken. I'm not going to share the full video, but I just want you to listen to the words that he says 8 years ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's a great honor to be here. This was some beautiful morning, and what a job they've done, like few others have been able to do. I am very, very proud of Lonnie Bunch, the work and the love that he has in his heart for what he's done. Is I always talk about, you need enthusiasm, you need really love for anything you do it successfully. And Lonnie, you are where? Come on. Where's Lonnie? You should be up here, Lonnie. Come on. And David, we have to get David up here too. David Scorton is tremendous, and he was singing Lonnie's praises all morning long. So you two should at least be here. So we appreciate it very much. And David Rubenstein, who's here someplace, he is, come on, David, you have to get up here, David. You certainly deserve it. He's a very, very successful guy who spends money doing great things, and he's been a great help to so many different groups, and this one in particular. Thank you. It's a privilege to be here today. This museum is a beautiful tribute to so many American heroes. Heroes like Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington, Rosa Parks, the Greensboro students, and the African American Medal of Honor recipients, among so many other really incredible heroes. It's amazing to see. I went, we did a pretty comprehensive tour, but not comprehensive enough. So Lonnie, I'll be back. I told you that, because I could stay here for a lot longer, believe me. It's really incredible. I'm deeply proud that we now have a museum that honors the millions of African American men and women who built our national heritage, especially when it comes to faith, culture, and the unbreakable American spirit. My wife was here last week and took a tour, and it was something that she's still talking about. Ivanka is here right now. Hi, Ivanka. And it really is very, very special. It's something that, frankly, if you want to know the truth, it's doing so well that everybody's talking about it. I know President Obama was here for the museum's opening last fall, and I'm honored to be the second sitting president to visit this great museum. Etched in the hall that we passed today is a quote from Spotswood Rice, a runaway slave who joined the Union Army. He believed that his fellow African Americans always looked to the United States as the promised land of universal freedom. Today and every day of my presidency.
Let's stop right there real quick. What do you say? African Americans have looked to America as the what? The promised land? Oh, he's got a little bit more. This is what angers the Most High.
See, I pledge to do everything I can to continue that promise of freedom for African Americans and for every American. So important, nothing more important. This tour was a meaningful reminder of why we have to fight bigotry intolerance, and hatred in all of its very ugly forms. The anti-Semitic threats targeting our Jewish community and community centers are horrible.
Sir, what are we talking about here? What exactly are we talking about? I thought we were talking about the quote unquote African American accomplishments. Sir, how do we start talking about anti-Semitism in the Jewish community? Are you going to read the definition of Semitism? Because if you're not, why are we deflecting? They've always known. They've always known that wasn't on accident.
And are painful and a very sad reminder of the work that still must be done to root out hate and prejudice and evil. I want to thank a great friend of mine, Dr. Ben Carson, and his beautiful family, Candy and the whole family, for joining us today. It was very special to accompany him and his family for the first time seeing the Carson exhibit. First time. Oh, I'm so proud. I love this guy.
Remember, y'all, he's the same one that said that our ancestors came over here as immigrants in the bottom of slave ships. Immigrants. That's what he said. Let's bring up Alveda King real quick.
Fighter for justice. And so, Alveda, thank you very much. Come up. Yes. Thank you. I have been watching you for so long, and you are so incredible. And I want to thank you for all the nice things you say about me. Not everybody says nice things, but she's special.
Your family, you're the best. You're great.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you and your family. I just love you. Y'all just the bestest. Thank you.
Thank you, darling. Appreciate it. So with that, we're going to just end this incredible beginning of a morning. But engraved in the wall very nearby, a quote by the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. In 1955, he told the world, "We are determined to work and fight until justice runs down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream."
Say what? Justice? Righteousness? Bruh.
And that's what it's going to be. We're going to bring this country together, maybe bring some of the world together, but we're going to bring this country together. We have a divided country. It's been divided for many, many years, but we're going to bring it together. I hope every day of my presidency, we will be honoring the determination and work towards a very worthy goal. And for Lonnie and David and Ben and Alveda and everybody, I just have to say that what they've done here is something that can probably not be duplicated. It was done with love and lots of money, right, Lonnie? Lots of money. We can't avoid that. But it was done with tremendous love and passion, and that's why it's so great. So thank you all very much for being here. I appreciate it. And congratulations. This is a truly great museum. Thank you.
Well. Y'all look at their faces. Look at their faces. How much they're beaming. How much they love to stand next to him. Yahuwah has something to say about that. Let's bring it up. Because he sees it too. In Ezekiel 16, he has something to say about our people who can't get enough of the lands of their captivity. It's really sad. I'm waiting for this thing to load up, y'all. So give me just a second. But it's really sad because our people, with everything that we've been through, With all that we've been through, our people have this way about us that's just like, I just really don't understand it. I mean, I don't get it. But I'm going to read from verse 23. And it came to pass after all your wickedness, woe unto you, saith Yahuwah, that you have also built unto you an eminent place, and have made thee a high place in every street. You have built your high place at every head of the way, and have made your beauty to be abhorred, and have opened your feet to everyone that passes by, and multiplied your whoredoms. You've also committed fornication with the Egyptians, your neighbors, greater flesh, and have increased your whoredoms to provoke me to anger. Behold, therefore, I have stretched out my hand over you, and have diminished your ordinary food, and delivered you unto the will of them that hate you. The daughters of the Philistines, which are ashamed of your lewd way. Even the Philistines were ashamed. They were like, oh my word, I'm clutching my pearls. You have played the whore also with the Assyrians, because you were unsatiable. Yet you have played the harlot with them and could not be satisfied. You have moreover multiplied your fornication in the land of Canaan unto Chaldea. Remember again, Chaldea is Babylon, which is confusion. And yet you were not satisfied therewith. How weak is your heart, saith Yahuwah, seeing you do all these things, the work of an imperious, whorish woman. And that you build your eminent place in the head of every way, and make your high place in every street, and have not been as a harlot, and thou you scornest hire. You don't even get paid for it. He said a prostitute is better than you. You ain't even get paid for it. But as a wife that commits adultery, which takes strangers instead of her husband, they give gifts to all their whores, but you give your gifts to all your lovers, and hire them that they may come unto you on every side for your whoredom. This is how the Most High sees this. You just in love. This your promised land. Like, are you serious? We just love you. You ain't even getting paid for it. Saying cut the check, and they rolling their eyes. They're like, yeah, okay, whatever. Here's a good little museum. I hope you're happy. Here you go. Oh yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely. Yeah. 8 years later. 8 years later. Y'all know where I'm going with this. Y'all already know where I'm going with this, because I know y'all already know.
Reaction tonight after another bold move by President Trump, this time taking aim at the Smithsonian Institution. He says it's to restore truth and sanity to American history. Critics say he's trying to whitewash it. 7 News' Carl Willis tonight with both sides.
The Smithsonian Institution, the world's largest museum, education, and research complex, and a powerful draw for visitors like Talisha Betia.
There's the Indian Museum, the African American Museum, all this Smithsonian's. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's also the latest target of the Trump administration and the focus of an executive order that aims to remove what the administration considers anti-American ideology. Certain narratives on the country's racial history. Part of the executive order reads, quote, over the past decade, Americans have witnessed a concerted and widespread effort to rewrite our nation's history, replacing objective facts with a distorted narrative driven by ideology rather than truth. The order also seeks to remove recognition of the achievements of trans women in the American Women's History Museum.
Let's just stop right there, okay? I didn't press pause fast enough. What? 8 years ago, you were talking about such a major accomplishment. 8 years ago, it was like, this is just, everybody's talking about how brilliant this is. Now it's distorted history? Come on, people. Everything is going as y'all planned. I am so glad I found that video. So you can understand, like Yahuwah knew already, these people hate you. Why, Black people, are we committing whoredoms with our enemies? Let's continue.
I feel like that's overstepping their boundaries of what the government, because it should be open and equal to everybody.
The executive order specifically mentions the Smithsonian American Art Museum, as well as the National Museum for African American History and Culture, for having divisive race-centered ideology. But some say this is an attempt to erase history.
It really hurts your generation, because your history is who you are.
And more controversy over a separate executive order this week.
This is only the latest in a pattern of attacks on our ability to control our own affairs.
The order would create a surge of law enforcement in public areas, maximize immigration enforcement, and help DC's crime lab get its accreditation.
We have a lot of good things happening in our country.
Patrice Sultan with DC Justice Lab says this makes her feel unsafe.
I actually see it as quite dangerous to keep doubling down on policies we know have failed just to score political points with people who don't even live here.
Carl Willis, 7 News.
My. I don't know what it's going to take. I really don't know what it's going to take. Do you all understand now why he says that only a remnant is going to make it? Because too many of our people want to live in the land of delusion, fighting for an equality that they never had, fighting to be loved desperately by the nation that despises them. And he's like, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, we live in a time where we're not dealing with what our ancestors dealt with to the degree that they dealt with it. Yes, we're still dealing with lynchings. Rest in peace, those twins out there in Georgia, I believe, reminded me of my own sons. But to the degree in which our ancestors dealt with it, we're not. The chains, the yokes of iron around our necks, being beaten with whips, picking cotton in the fields, Jim Crow, and all of its various forms we're not dealing with. But, and I say to the degree that our ancestors dealt with it. But there was more righteousness among our ancestors in this nation who dealt with what they dealt with than there is today. Can you see where we are today compared to where they were? Morally, ethically, it's like night and day. It's like the ancestors did all of that for us to act a fool. Y'all remember that episode of Boondocks, right? The one where MLK came back from the dead at a house party. Y'all remember that episode? It was meant to be comedy, but it was meant to be serious. Because this is where we're at. After all this time, after all that fighting, after all of that dying, this is where we're at. I mean, they did all of that for us to be here. Oh, family. So he's got to bring the whole house down. He's got to bring it all down. When it all falls down, I'm telling you all, it all falls down. I'm not Lauren, but she got it right. Markets crash. Economists warn of recession as Trump announces sweeping import tariffs on many countries. Y'all, they talk about tariffs now. Regular conversation. You know, most of the time when you're outside, out and about, you don't know where somebody stands on something. You don't really talk about it. No, we at the gas station talking about them tariffs now. Tariffs are coming, boy. How much? When is it coming? It's coming on Tuesday. 25%. I mean, everybody is nervous about these tariffs. The announcement of sweeping tariffs on at least 10% on U.S. imports rocked markets Thursday and had economists warning of dire times for the economy. He said, got to tear it all down. Oh, you think it's them doing it because of blockchain? Yes. But how many of us know that Yahuwah is sovereign? What's it going to take for y'all to understand? So Wall Street is poised for a sharp drop Thursday morning after global stock markets slumped overnight following President Donald Trump's sweeping announcement of tariffs of at least 10% on imports and considerably more, a move that threatens to spread economic turmoil around the world. He said, I got to bring it down. What's it going to take for you to understand? Dow Jones Industrial Average futures were pointing to a sharp decline, off by more than 1,200 points in pre-market trading. That follows a 2.2% drop for Europe's regional stock index after a 2.8% decline in Japan's Nikkei index. Meanwhile, the U.S. dollar weakened against other global currencies. Trump announced a baseline 10% tariffs on all imported goods with a reciprocal tariff equal to half that he says other countries charge the U.S. This could reach levels of 34% on China, 20% for the European Union, 46% on Vietnam, and 32% on Taiwan, according to a chart Trump displayed at the announcement ceremony in the Rose Garden. Reports after Trump's announcement said the tariff level in China would be in addition to existing 20% tariffs on imports from the country, bringing the total rate for a potential of 54%. So reaction from affected parties was swift and sharp, with some questioning how the White House came up with the tariff amounts that Trump claims are being charged on U.S. exports. All right. People upset. People are upset. Job cut announcements were dominated last month by the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Plans to eliminate positions in the federal government. Of course they do, because they follow under RAGE, which is retire all governmental employees. Thank you, neo-Nazis. South Africa. Said Andrew Challenger, senior vice president and workplace expert, it would have otherwise been a fairly quiet month for layoffs, excuse me. The broad sweep of Trump's tariffs is being compared to the infamous Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act that passed Congress in 1930, is widely blamed for exasperating the Great Depression and leading to a global trade war. If these tariffs stick, the economy is going to slow down. Yeah. It's going to slow down. Because what you see in this particular second Trump administration is almost like a sea change in the regime, says John Veach, dean of the School of Business and Management at Notre Dame. It's a very different strategic regime going forward. That's where we're at, y'all. That's where we're at. Because y'all need to understand that Trump was appointed to destroy so they can rebuild in the image of the beast. Blockchain, fourth industrial revolution, WEF, that's the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab. You will own nothing and be happy. But family, it's coming very soon. It's coming sooner than most people are prepared for. Did you know that America celebrates its 250th anniversary next year? How many of y'all knew that? How many of y'all knew that? America celebrates its 250-year birthday next year. Yeah, this is Trump talking about it at the World Economic Forum last month.
Events coming up. Next year, we have the 250th anniversary of America's founding. I'm so honored to be president during that. That's been a big event. They've been talking about it for 10 years. We also have the World Cup. And I understand Gianni's in the room. Infantino, he was very instrumental in helping us get it. He's there with you someplace, I think. And I want to thank him for that. And then we have the Olympics coming up, which I was instrumental in getting also in my first term. And who would have known that by skipping a term, I would get the Olympics? I was upset. I said, you know, I got the Olympics to come and I won't be president. But it turned out through a stroke of luck, or whatever you might call it, that I'm going to be president during the World Cup and the Olympics and the 250th anniversary. So that's going to be 3 big events.
That's a lot going on in his term. For 250 years. That's important. And I'm going to tell you why that's important. Something my uncle shared with me the other day. So I had to look it up. I want to share it with y'all. It says the average empire survives for 250 years. Is America at deletion's door? This is from the National News Desk. The average empire lasts 250 years. In 2026, the USA, founded in 1776, will celebrate its 250th anniversary. We're rapidly nearing the 250th anniversary of the fall of most previous civilizations. With ongoing internal turmoil ranging from race to financial disparity to political tribalism and other countries gradually pulling away from the orbit of the US-led supremacy, it appears that the tides are turning against us. I fear that this mere statistic may soon become a reality that alters the course of our lives. After all, many citizens and politicians will celebrate our downfall, not realizing the perilous impact it will have on the freedoms they believe they do not have. I am not sure if it will be a huge international conflict, a financial catastrophe, or a civil war that causes the U.S. to fall apart, but I do believe that learning from the past is critical if we were to slow down the inevitable. It ain't gonna happen. They ain't slowing nothing down. 250 years is next year, y'all. Next year. Are you ready for next year? Because it's coming. I'm going to close with Revelation 22. I was going to go to 21, but I'm going to close with Revelation 22. I know it's late. Remember, he told them to mark the foreheads of all of those people, those men who wept for the city and the abominations done in it. So let's pick up in chapter 22 of Revelation. And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of Elua and of the Lamb. In the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits and yielded her fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. And there shall be no more curse, but the throne of Elua and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. And they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their what? In their foreheads. There we go. Do y'all see how it all comes together? It's all coming together now, isn't it? And there should be no night there, and they need no candle, neither light of the sun, for Yahuwah Elua giveth them light, and they shall reign forever and ever. And he said unto me, these sayings are faithful and true. And Yahuwah Elua of the holy prophets sent his angel to show unto his servant the things which must shortly be done. Behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keeps the sayings of the prophecies of this book. And I, John, saw these things and heard them. And when I had heard and seen, I fell down to worship before the feet of the angel which showed me these things. Then saith he unto me, see you do it not. For I am your fellow servant, and of your brethren the prophets, and of them which keep the sayings of this book. Worship Elua, or Elohim, as those of y'all are used to hearing. And he said unto me, seal not the sayings of this prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. This is the part, family. This is the part here. This is the part where we need to understand. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, Let him be holy still. Behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according to his work, according as his work shall be. I am the Aleph and the Tav, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters, and whosoever loves and maketh a lie. Let the righteous be righteous still. Let the righteous be righteous still. Let the wicked be wicked still. Separate in your heart your emotions that tie you so deeply into those people in our nation that are vessels of dishonor. You know, usually when I give a message, I like to end with an encouraging word, something to keep our spirits going. I couldn't find that. I'm just keeping it a buck. I couldn't. I was like, Father, where is the silver lining here? Where is it in Revelation 22 came into my spirit? Particularly that part. Let him who is filthy stay filthy, wicked stay wicked. Let him who is righteous continue to be righteous, and he who is holy continue to be holy. That's the encouraging word. That's all I got for you. Because I'm not about to sit here and tell you peace. When he said, nah, I don't think so. Because we would love to believe that our time is done. Oh, we done served our sentence. We done served our 400 years. We done now, y'all. It's time for them to go through now. Lie detector test said that's a lie. He said he will build a sanctuary around you wherever it is that he has put you. Because he who endures to the end shall be saved. This escapism thing, it ain't working, y'all. It's just not working, not according to his timeline. He says that no one is going to enter into the holy city. Revelation 21 was talking about New Jerusalem, which comes down from heaven. That's where you're not going to enter in if you're not holy. If you're not righteous, you won't enter there. You think it's about some land that's here and now. He said, no. The New Jerusalem that comes down from heaven, as a matter of fact, he calls New Jerusalem his bride. I would have read it to y'all, but for time's sake. You want to see the bride of the Lamb? It's coming down from heaven and describes New Jerusalem. That's the city that only the righteous will enter into. So we got to clean our robes. You, me, we all do. Because I'm not 100% there, and I'm not going to lie to myself and pretend like I am. But my heart's desire is to be perfected, and where I err, to make corrections. And I pray that that is your heart desire as well, because he who is righteous, let him be righteous still. He who is holy, let him be holy still. But if you are wondering why it is that you can't make headway with certain people in your life, that's because they were not appointed to be vessels of honor. They were appointed to be vessels of dishonor, because Yahuwah already knew before the foundation of the earth was set, before it was laid, what their choice was going to be. And he persevered in long suffering, hoping that they would change, but knowing that the path that they were going to take was not one of honor. Let that not deter you. Remember, even the very righteous can't save their own children. Only by their righteousness can they save themselves. I hope this wasn't too difficult of a word for y'all to hear, but it was a necessary one. If this message has blessed you and you did not get a chance to give thumbs up, then please do, so more people can hear it, because we need strong words in this day and this time so that we can get our hearts right. So I thank y'all so much for coming out. I missed y'all. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I will be back on as soon as Yahuwah, allows me to. I never, keep a schedule about these things because I like to, I like to minister as Yahuwah leads. And I want y'all to definitely do me a favor and support our businesses. Again, Natural Niche Boutique. I want y'all to check them out there in the description box. Go to their website, support the business. Okay, it's serving our community. We need good products serving our communities to support the business. Definitely get your copy of Israelite. For those of you who are led to share with your loved ones, your family, your friends there. Listen, man, they in church every Sunday, and you know that they read their Bible, but they just don't understand. They don't understand, and you want to use a tool to help them to understand. Get your copy of Israelite so that it will help you in your arsenal to be able to wake your family members up that will receive the truth. All right? And if you're a business and want to become a sponsor of Ashanda at Large, for this month only, 50% off of sponsorship packages. Go ahead and fill out the form. It is also in the description box. I want to give a special thanks to Sister Cynthia for her donation tonight. Thank you so much for your gift. I really appreciate you, Sister Cynthia. It's always looking out. Got DSB in the building, member for 6 months. All praises to the Most High. Thank you so much. I put out a new video the other day for my patrons, my members. Thank y'all so much for your love and your support, your continued support, especially during this time of grief in my family. And a lot of times what I do and my members and my patrons is I share way more heart-related information there, things that Yahuwah is dealing with me about, my own heart issues, family life, things of that nature, to encourage you so that you don't, get discouraged in your own walk. So I pray that those messages are a blessing to you. And thank y'all so much for lifting me up and supporting me continuously every month. And shout out to my brother Eric Tinsley in the building, Caribbean Massive, my son. Israel for Israel, thank you so much for your gift as always. I appreciate you, my brother. It's always good to see you. And family, listen, I appreciate all the love and support that y'all give continuously. Those of you who give on CashApp, I appreciate y'all. Y'all just be, blessing me, and I appreciate it because, listen, family, I know times are not easy right now. So thank you for sowing a seed, if you will, if that's what you want to call it, into the work that I do. It blesses me. It blesses my family. And I pray that this message and the work that I do on this platform continues to be a blessing to you all as well. So, family, with that in mind, continue to walk the way Yahuwah would have you to walk. Do your best. Do your very best to lean into him more and more every day. Family, as always, may Yahuwah bless and strengthen each and every one of y'all. I hope that y'all have a blessed weekend, a blessed Shabbat. And until we meet again, family, as always, love yourselves while hating your enemies. And until next time, y'all bless and salamah.